feel that solid sound when it's making full contact down there. That's a tenon. And then, you know, of course, it's longer than you need. So the bit, just get your size.
How much longer do you make the end of the rivet, Joe?
Oh, about 1.5. Larry and I were discussing this the other day. 1.5 times the length, the width of the rivet.
1.5.
But that is also
1.5 times the diameter.
The diameter of your rivet, yeah. But that also depends on how big your rivet heads are and how big your rivet header is. The other night we were riveting a bunch of stuff, and we decided that that theory may not be 100% accurate.
Well, it's a good starting point.
It's a good starting point, which you make one rivet and you see how it comes out, and then you decide from there. And for those of you who haven't used this style hot cut, it's controversial. Damn thing works so good. It's so easy. Yeah.
There you go.
And then that's it. I tighten it. It's from driving it in the monkey tool. It's got a little bit of upset there, so just tap it in here and it folds. And that's it. You got just about 100% contact all the way around.
Yes.
And it's easy. And it's just a matter of peening this rivet over on top and the connection there.
What about the heat when you peen the rivet over?
What about?
I think, you know, being an old far, I can't remember exactly, but you get it hot to start the process,
Yeah.
and then you finally beat it when it's just about cold to keep it really tight, because otherwise you have the thermal differences.
Yeah, and you want to keep this bar cold when you fit it if you can. Yeah, so it's
But go through that real slow again, though.
Heating the rivet over. Well, ideally, this piece of steel is fairly cold when you start, and you heat this up and you peen it down hot, all the way down, and it should hold because it's
just straight down.
Well, you start straight down, and then when you get a certain length, if you're using a ball peen, you go all the way around.
Yeah.
If not, if you're using a rivet header, then you would come part of the way down and then use a header, which is a tool like this. They'll go over the top of the rivet and shape that rivet head nice and neat. But the contraction ought to keep it tight. You shouldn't have to cold peen it. If it is loose, you can come back and peen it cold and knock it down, compress it into it. You shouldn't have to. Another thing, a lot of times when you're doing tenons, it's part of a bigger project where you have more than one bar with a tenon. They've all got to be the same length. And if they're not, you're going to have problems. Well, it's no 100% guarantee that this one is going to be exactly like the other one if I did anything different or upset one more than the other. So you have to make them up, and then you look at them and measure the length. You may have to come back and forge some of this out to give more length to the bar. It's easier to make them longer than to upset a bar to make it smaller. And you just have to go through each bar and make them all the same length that way. I think that's it. I don't know if anybody has any questions.